Hello, welcome back to Inspiring Generations. I'm your host, Celeste Williams, and today I have in studio Manuel Teshe. Manuel Teshe, if you don't know him, he is an amazing young man. I've been inspired by him. That's why he's on Inspiring Generations. I want him to talk about his life here, what inspired him, and all the good stuff that he brings to the city of Chelsea. So without further ado, Manuel Teshe.
Thank you, Celeste. Thank you so much again for having me here. This is, I would say, an amazing space where people get to share their experiences, their lives, and it's good for others to see that many of us we're all just the same, right? We go through challenges and troubles, but at the end of the day, we keep on working, we keep on doing the work, and I think that's the drive that pushes us always to do more. So
so to talk a little bit more about that, were you born in America?
No, actually, I was born in El Salvador, year 2000. In 2013, I moved to the United States. That's when I moved to Chelsea.
Okay, yeah. And did you go to escuela here, to school here?
I did go to school here. It was difficult at the beginning because I came without speaking a single word of English. So I had no idea what was going on. I didn't even know we had lockers. So when I went into the school and I see everybody going, and I went to the Brown, by the way, everybody going to the second floor to get their lockers and everything. And I didn't have my own because I didn't know who to ask or what to do. But over time, I got used to the school. I made a lot of friends, that spoke both English and Spanish. So a lot of them were translators for me, because I needed help. But thankfully, I was able to learn the language. Then I went to Chelsea High and had a really great experience.
Yes, I researched your experience at Chelsea High School. So that was like going into the 2000s.
Yeah.
You had Chelsea High.
Yeah.
And you were a leader, activist there. Like
Tried, yes.
As far as like your bio, I was like, wow, he's done so much in the little time that he's been on the planet. So I'm so inspired by you.
Thank you.
Tell me more about what your activities were at Chelsea High.
Yeah.
As far as being in a leadership position.
Yeah. So I will be honest, up until sophomore year, I had no intention of going to college or doing anything. But I still did my homework because I thought that was what you did, So junior year comes and then I start hearing, well, graduation will be soon. Look, the current seniors are having trouble because their parents can't all fit inside the gym, which was where we used to have graduation, right? And some parents had to wait outside or go to the auditorium to watch a broadcast. And so, I myself, seeing that I was really close to graduating, and a couple of other classmates, we said we can't take the chance that our parents are going to be the ones waiting outside. When I traveled from Central America here and did my best so that I could graduate, I thought this should be a moment that we could celebrate as a family and that they could be present in person. And so we rounded up, I think it was about 20 students from my class, and we ended up getting students from other classes as well, like sophomores and first years as well. We went to school committee, we went to city council for 6 months. We went to every single meeting, and we said we need graduation outside. It was difficult, but we did have the support of really great leaders. And superintendent at the time, Mary Burke, she was amazing. Yeah, she was good. So ultimately, we got it, and our graduation was outside. Yeah.
That's an amazing story. See why you're so inspirational, and you have to be here.
Thank you.
So you secured the money and everything for that graduation to happen. Oh my goodness.
That was 170,000.
I'm feeling a little emotional, so my voice is cracking, forgive me.
No worries.
But it's amazing what you can do when you get young people to, step up and be active, and you guys really get things done.
Yeah.
So I met you. You were working with Judith Garcia,
Yes.
one of my favorite people. She's been here. How was that, working with Judith?
It was a really great experience. I started working with her on her campaign, right? And we went door knocking, and I went around the city. I would say more than 5 times over.
Yeah.
And I had the chance to speak to, I will say, hundreds of people in Chelsea, who would tell me, these are my concerns, this is what I would like help with, this is where I feel left out. And all those stories that I heard, they really hit home.
Yeah.
And it was an everyday thing. I was door knocking every day. So all of that showed me,
Right.
I'm not the only one facing those things.
Right.
We have a whole city of people that are facing a lot of challenges. And so that actually ended up being one of the reasons why I became motivated to run for city council.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. And I understand totally now that I've ran for school committee and lost, but I understand
You did a good race.
the process
Yeah.
of what that takes. So did you door knock throughout the whole city of Chelsea, or were you just door knocking in one concentrated district?
Yeah, so when I worked for Judith Garcia's campaign, I door knocked the whole city.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
was
I was
that?
in Prattville, Admiral Hills,
That's
I was in the Box District, downtown Broadway, Upper Broadway.
Yeah.
I was everywhere, yeah.
So when I met up with you doing your door knocking,
Yeah.
that was just a little piece of what you
was just a
did
little piece.
before. So that's why you were so invigorated. And I get it now. I really get it. So learning English, going back to that, did it take you long to learning? Because you speak so well.
Thank you.
You speak very well. So I'm impressed. I just want to know how long because I still don't speak English very well. Been here
No.
forever.
For a time, I thought I was never gonna learn it because I would watch movies or try to get it. I couldn't get it. It took me, I will say, 3 years to be able to properly communicate.
Yeah.
Before that, it was difficult. But what I kept doing is whatever I knew, I threw it out there. If people understood what I meant, that was great. If not, that meant I needed to find another way to say it. But I will say it was hell. It was hell.
It was.
Yeah.
So now that you're a city councilman, how's your life been? Like, are more doors opening up for you? Or, are you still at college?
Yeah.
Those are 2 dual questions, but you can answer them
Yeah.
accordingly.
So I graduated from Bucknell University in early 2023, and I was able to do so through a scholarship, full tuition scholarship that I got from the Posse Foundation. They've been amazing for me, and so I transitioned to being a city councilor about two months ago now. I will say that it definitely has changed the way my life is and the way I see things as well. More importantly, it has allowed me to see things in a new light because I now understand from a city hall perspective per se of how things go in Chelsea. And I will say the experience has been great. I've met a number of department heads. They're experts at what they do, and they've been amazing at essentially opening up their information and knowledge for a new city councilor coming in knowing not a lot, but having good intentions.
Yeah.
So far, so good.
So I was doing some census about population in Chelsea, and I see that the El Salvadorians are like up there in population, and I mean, for the most part, doing amazing things to contribute to the city. Where would you like to see, happen for the youth within that population, going forward?
Yeah, so I will say my vision for the Salvadoran youth is the same as Guatemalan, Honduran, and anybody of every ethnicity and every nationality. And that vision is making sure that they have every single opportunity that we can provide so that they can be the best at what they do. I had the opportunity to learn the language, go to college, and now do what I'm passionate about. And I want every single child that's currently in Chelsea to have that same opportunity. I mean, think about it. We could have amazing singers. We could have some real tech developers.
Yeah.
The options are
Yeah,
unlimited.
are endless.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sort of on the same wavelengths with you when I see that vision. So that's inspiring enough to know that we have you, leading in that effort, and not just for one group, for all groups. And Black History Month is here,
Yes.
and I usually would end Black History Month if I did consecutive shows with a question. But my question to you is, have you, now that you've been indulging in Black history a little bit, have you read or know about anyone that inspires you from, the Black history community? Like, is there any leaders that we've had that inspire you? And can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. Well, in general, I will say, we have amazing leaders. First of all, the one and everybody knows, Martin Luther King Jr., right? When I was in school, I also had the opportunity to read a lot from James Baldwin, which, who I think is an amazing leader and had the capacity to really put things into writing, And I will say locally, a lot of the leaders that I look up to are the people, again, right? The CEO of the CBC, Joan Cromwell, amazing leader. You as well, because you always make sure that we have a close-knit community, and that's what we need. I've seen you on the streets, not only when you were door knocking, but even before that.
Yeah.
And that's what we need. That's what I appreciate. And I think some people may have the misconception that a leader is somebody who tells everybody what to do. That's not the case. A leader is somebody that is able to communicate with everyone and is able to get everyone on the same page as well. And I think we have a lot of those in Chelsea. And
Yeah,
so,
we do.
Yeah.
We have an abundance.
Yes. Yeah,
Which is rich.
Yeah.
Which makes us rich. Makes Chelsea rich.
Yes.
So in my studies, I saw that you study political science. Mm-hmm. Are you still doing your studies?
So yeah, I got my bachelor's degree in political science. I am actually going to be starting soon law school, and that's definitely connected. And the reason is because I want to continue best preparing myself so that I can be the most of service.
Yeah.
So being able to know how the law operates will allow me to be a better city councilor, and just overall be better prepared when somebody reaches out and they have different kinds of problems. You got to be ready for anything. So
Yeah, so
I'm doing it.
definitely. So your mom must be so proud of you.
She says I should rest more. Yeah.
Really? That's what your mom says to you?
Yeah.
And, how's your family dynamics? Do you have your mom and dad, or do you have like family like the distance, or is most of your family here?
Yeah. So
in America?
I got a big family, right? I have 6 sisters. All of them are older than me. So my dad always wanted to have a boy, but he kept having girl, 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 and then ultimately I came out, right?
Okay.
But it was for the best because growing up with my sisters, they really taught me the lessons they picked up, they gave to me, and so sometimes I didn't have to hit my face to know
Exactly.
not to jump,
To them girls.
yeah, yeah. So, and still they mentor me up until now.
Yeah.
And we all work together as a family, and we have goals as a family as well. So
I love it.
I'm just, thankful
I
for what I
love
have.
that. Family is important.
Yes, yes.
Before the job, before,
Yeah,
you
comes first.
engage with people, how you do.
Yeah.
That all came from within the family dynamics. I know that, because that's what I had.
Yeah,
And I pray that a lot of youth, even if it is a one-parent unit, and
yeah,
they don't have a lot of siblings, I pray that we have people in the community to even take notice of that.
yeah,
That, this kid doesn't have what I grew up with, but maybe I can support,
exactly.
whoever it may be,
Yeah.
with their efforts to being great, right?
Yeah,
So we're all gonna bring what we learn at home,
yes.
right? We're gonna take it with us to work, right?
100%. Yeah, yeah. I always take it with me.
Yeah, that's good, Manuel. So, my big question, and you can talk to your camera about it. Chelsea's gonna be 400 years old,
Yes.
right? And what does that look like for us? I'm not gonna be here anymore, for the next 100.
Next 400.
Even though, you pray for longevity.
Yeah.
But how do you feel like coming up to this point? And this is a big deal, right?
Yeah.
You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. So I brought this with me, right? This is the literature that I gave out when I was door knocking, out in the streets. And I highlighted my priorities that were housing, that's a big one, transportation, and the economy. And the reason I bring this up is because I think that with now having the 400th anniversary of our city, we have come so far and we can go so much farther. But it's not only about surviving, it's also about advancing, right? And a lot of people that have lived in Chelsea know the history of Chelsea. 25 years ago, things were, I would say 30 years ago, things were not so pretty. But recently, and again, this is only with the perspective when I came in as a city councilor and I started doing my homework, that I've seen that Chelsea has been continuously growing. And to the point in which I am really hopeful about what's to come to Chelsea, because we have multiple new people, multiple leaders that have been working on initiatives that are good for everyone. Yeah. And, we have the new city manager who's also advocating for, and we've had conversations about this, advocating for housing, incentivizing people to develop housing that will be for Chelsea. Not just, for anybody from outside to come and be able to pay. No, it's going to be for Chelsea. And so I'm excited for what's to come, because it's not going to be just a celebration of us making it to the 400th year, but celebrating that we have a lot more to do and a long way to go. And I think that's just, amazing to see. It's going to be a fun ride.
Yeah. I'm going to be asking this question like a lot.
Yeah.
I want to know what everybody's feeling about this, because I know where I stand. I don't even need to put it out there. But like I said, it's definitely a big deal right now.
Yeah.
And it's for all of us to meditate on it and really think about going forward, and doing our homework and knowing what
Yes.
mistakes we made
Where we come from
in
and
the
where we go.
past,
Yeah.
and keep us moving and progressing.
Yes.
So I appreciate you for taking a stance on your true values,
Yes.
that's an inspiration in itself. But the youth want to know, what inspired Manuel Teshe to even become a public servant? Who inspired you? What inspired you? And you can talk to them.
So what inspired me, I will say, is the makeup of my entire experience, right? So coming to the US without speaking English, having to learn it, having to essentially pick myself up, work ever since I was 13 years old, to be able to help my parents afford rent. To go into college and feeling a little bit different because, most of my peers were from really affluent, wealthy communities. But that gave me pride. The pride of being an immigrant, the pride of being from El Salvador, the pride of being from Chelsea, the pride of continuing to persevere despite the challenges. And I think that's where our youth, you, can take motivation to move on forward and do the things you want to do. To know that despite the challenges you're facing, you will continue to fight, and that will keep you going. That's what keeps me going right now. So
what a blessing to have you. We're so blessed to have you. And most of you don't know your city councilors. I mentioned this in the past, that when I interviewed Judith Garcia, I wasn't interested in who my district councilor was or any of that until I met that inspiring young woman. And the same goes for you. Now that we've been redistricted, okay, my district was District 5, now it's District 7. And Manuel happens to be the counselor for District 7, which is huge. He's got a lot of work before him. But we're not going to talk about his work. We're not here to do that. This is Inspiring Generations. And Emmanuel has stopped by. And we love him. And we're going to support him. And for you older ones that are in District 7, you can always go up and give him a hug.
Always reach out.
He's approachable. And he conversates very well. And habla español. Para English, whatever language you want to do it in, Manuel,
thank you so much.
Is able to deliver.
Yes,
Thank you for coming so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate you for having me as well.
Yeah. So on that note, I know this platform is an amazing platform, and I appreciate it. I appreciate you watching. I've had people come up to me and are like, when are you gonna do more? But it's easier said than done because when we have these interviews, we need to reach out to people and invite them into the space. So keep watching. We're gonna have some amazing guests come back to this platform. And I wanna thank you so much for watching Inspiring Generations. See you next time.